and happy Mother's Day. And for me right now, I guess I would say happy rain. They say that April showers bring May flowers. What do the May showers bring? This is not. I came out here just now to record this and had no idea that I'd be getting sprinkled on. Um, I'm just gonna, for now, use my agency to choose to just sort of embrace this being sprinkled on thing, and we'll see what nature has in mind today. If I start getting too wet, I'll go inside. Maybe you'll get to see my garage or something. Um, in general, though, recently in life, I've really found that just accepting nature for what it is beautiful. You know, like when you go out and it's raining, it's really tempting for me to be like, well, it's raining, I better go inside. But there's something beautiful sometimes about accepting the fact that it's raining and just staying outside in the rain. Um, it's a way to practice accepting nature the way that it is. I have a friend who's he's really into cold water baths, and I'm telling you what, I have not learned I've not learned that level of acceptance yet. But it's really, but what he's told me about what he learns from that, I think applies to being out in the rain right now. He says that, and this friend, his name's Hugh Vale, and he with Mustang Medicine. And if you look up his stuff, just look up Mustang Medicine. He has lots of really, really, really good content, so you can look up his stuff. Um, but Hugh says that, for years now he has been doing, I think daily, if I'm not mistaken, daily cold water baths. Maybe it's not quite daily, where he just, you know, fills up a tub with very, very, very cold water, and hello, Rain World Comics, and he just sits in the cold water in the tub, and he says that every time he starts, he just hates it. He hates it so much, but as he stays in the cold water, he eventually comes to accept it. And hello, Will. And he says that, how does he say? He says that, some of the impression he's had when he's in the cold water is he'll get in the cold water and then he'll have this thought like, oh, I hate the cold water. Oh, why is the cold water doing this to me? And he feels that the cold water says to him, I don't have anything against you. I'm just being myself. I'm just being cold. That's the way I am. It's not personal. And as he's learned to accept that, he finds that if he's in the cold water long enough, it just feels fine after a little while. And it trains him to just accept things radically. And that's a powerful thing. And I think that has to do with the 13 seasons. Hello, George. I think you speak German, it looks like. I don't think we speak German here, but it's so good to have you. I hope that you speak English too, so you can understand what we're saying. Um, but so here at 13 seasons, what we're doing is we're accepting the actual natural energy of the earth. The the earth has certain seasons it goes through, right? So at certain seasons it's winter, and at other seasons it's summer. And the weather changes and shifts throughout the seasons. And it can be really tempting to say, winter, why won't you be summer? Or spring, why won't you be fall? And we tempted to want the seasons to become a different season than they are. But at the end of the day, the season is what it is, right? And the quicker I just accept what life is right now, the quicker things just work better. Like fighting against the way what season it is doesn't actually help us. Fighting against, being like, oh, I'm so mad it's the weather. The weather is what it is today. Doesn't help us. It just puts us in a state of being frustrated about something that we can't control. If you feel sad today, fighting against the sadness, be like, I'm so frustrated that I'm sad. Doesn't help. In fact, that's what makes sadness bad. Like sadness is not inherently bad. Sadness just is sadness. There's nothing bad about sadness. What makes sadness bad is that we resist it, that we fight against it. And it's the fighting against it that feels negative, not actually being sad. And the earth has energy like that too. So at different seasons of the the earth is in a state where it's ready for different kinds of things. It's not something we can see with our eyes or with our physical eyes or hear with our physical ears, but it's something that if we're open, we can feel like in our spirits, in our energy. We can feel it in the part of us that we can feel it in the part of us where our consciousness lives. And in that part of us, that intuitive part of us, we can feel and know that at different times of year, the earth has different energy, a different energy or a different vibration that it's moving with. And if we align our lives with that vibration the earth has at different times of year, our lives will just flow more naturally towards whatever it is that we want. So right now is the time of year where the earth is shifting. Right now. Just previous to now, the earth was in an energy that we call the energy of unity. Or you could call it the energy of potential. It's the energy of sensing what it is that's going to really fulfill you. What it is that's really going to help you feel like you're moving towards what you're built to do. That energy. And the energy to know that and sense that is what the earth was just in. And now the earth's in a transition period and we're moving, during these few days we're in right now, the earth's moving to a new energy. And it's the energy of agency. It's the energy of understanding choice and the consequences of choices and using that to grow. And so we moved from one energy to another. And throughout the year that keeps happening. It happens in 13 cycles throughout the year. And then it starts over and it keeps going. And when we let our journey through life align with the energy the earth's at, and we know that, and we're blessed to know which energy the earth's in, and we let ourselves align with that, then that's awesome. Dead Ghost says, need for speed? I need more context. I don't know what that means. Makes me think of Sonic or Speed Racer. Which are both awesome franchises. I love Speed Racer so much. It's a wonderful movie. And Sonic, I had lots of fun playing that when I was young. It's fun to smile and think about those franchises that have brought me some happiness in my life. So we just moved out of this Unity time. So using Sonic as an example, right? Sonic is built, his talents are to go fast. So he's built to go fast, right? So if Sonic isn't making time in his life to go fast, then he's not fulfilling his unity. And all of us are built for certain things. And whatever we're built for, it's important to make time for that thing and to identify what that thing is. And then we feel like we're really affecting others in the way we're built to affect them. And we're doing what we're built for. So that's the time we just moved out of, the time when the earth was built to help us with that part of our progression. And now we moved into a time where the earth is built to help us make choices. So the whole point of this channel is to focus on how we've grown during each of the 13 seasons of the year and to help each other grow in that. So anyone who wants to, just in the chat, tell us how in the last 30 days or so, 20 to 30 days, how have you grown? Put that in the chat. How have you grown in the last 20 to 30 days? What lessons have you learned? What breakthroughs have you made? What challenges have you been facing that's helped you to grow? What mistakes have you made that helped you to learn an important lesson? Put that in the chat, and I'm going to tell you about how I've grown during the last 20 to 30 days. While I wait for you guys to put that in the chat, and then we'll celebrate how people have grown. So for me, like I said, last 20 to 30 days was focused in 13 seasons, has been focused. Please do tell about your stories, Dead Ghost. I want to hear them. Last 20 to 30 days, put it in the chat. The last 20 to 30 days have been focused on realizing our potential. Now, I spend a lot of my time teaching high school, so I put about 6 hours a day of my day, or 5 hours, is teaching high school. It's a part-time job that I have, and my approach to teaching high school has changed in the last 20 or 30 days in a way that's really beautiful. The way I've stopped thinking of it, like I used to think of it like this. I thought of it like there's a thing people are supposed to learn in the class. And then I just teach the class in a way where everyone learns that thing everyone's supposed to learn in the class. I think that's the way that most teachers do it. Like you're teaching algebra class, you say, okay, here's the things everyone's supposed to learn in this algebra class. Now I'm going to teach it in a way where everyone learns it. And you kind of think of like the whole group as like one person who's all learning that thing, That's the way most teachers do things most of the time. I decided to do a little bit different this time because I was thinking about Unity. I was thinking about this idea that everyone has their own unique journey to reach their own unique potential. And so what I did is I like spent some time meditating, and I tried to, with my meditation, like connect myself like spiritually with the students in my class. And then I just wrote down my impressions because the school year is almost over. Like we only got like a month left, 2 months left, something like that. So I wrote down what came to me while I was meditating about what I felt like each person in the class would benefit, like how each person in class could grow in the context of that class. And then since then, when I teach, I try to teach in a way that helps each person to reach their unique thing, and not worry so much about like teaching my content that I'm supposed to teach, but instead teaching the students and helping each of them to grow in the way that I feel like they're built, that I feel like it's best to help them. And that approach has made teaching feel much more alive to me. Like I feel more alive. I feel more excited about it when I approach it that way. And I have these notes that I have on my computer that I wrote down when I meditated with each student's name and like a sentence about how I feel like sort of how my job to help each of them grow in the unique way. And then what I do is I'm trying to make time once a day, just every day, to look over the notes for one of my classes and like just review what it is that I'm helping them with, and think about that. So I keep it on the top of my mind while I teach. And then during that same time, just pray for those people. Just pray for the people in that class that they'll grow in the things I wrote down. So I'm trying to kind of make, that's a shift I'm making in the way I do my job. And it makes my job mean a lot more to me and feel a lot more special, a lot more impactful. So that's been really good for me. And that's really tied into the season. Let's see here. Other people said things. Jamie says, I finally took a leap and signed up for a course I've been considering for a while. Boy, is that Unity, right? That's having the courage to say, hey, this course teaches me how to do the thing I feel like I'm built to do. I'm going to take a risk and go after it. And that takes risk. Is a financial risk involved because you're going to spend money to take the course? There's time risk, right? Is it going to be really worth my time to do it? There's also risk in terms of like, what if I do it and I don't end up actually being good at it? Or what if I take all the time to learn, but I don't end up actually doing it? Like all those are risks, but we're never going to reach our Unity without taking risks. So like very, 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 that's awesome. Dead Ghost says, I spent my last time and spending on my logic view in psychology of the humans. That's like, psychology is awesome. And logic is awesome. And taking time to understand those things is really important to be able to like be a full person and get along well with others. I'm like really glad you've been doing that. And then Jamie, I think this is Will. It says Will says he made a cool comic. Things like that also fulfill Unity. Like I've been really moved recently to make some time to just slowly work on a novel. And it doesn't matter. And in some ways, it doesn't even matter if a novel ever gets finished. Just working on it somehow like lights up something inside me and who I am. And it's just important to make time for like the creative projects that fulfill us. So huzzah for Jamie, huzzah for Dead Ghost, huzzah for me, huzzah for Will. And then I like this what Dead Ghost says here, another thing. I have admitted to myself what's happy in my life. It's by God's plan. I think when we say it's by God's plan is another way of saying accepting unity. You know, like God, we oftentimes are kind of short-sighted. When I look at my life, I just see, I just see the things, the limited things I can see where I'm trying to just get by today, right? But God sees the bigger picture of who we can become. And God doesn't want all of us to become the same person, right? Like God's goal isn't that you and I become the same. God's goal is that each of us become who we want to be, the unique person we want to be. It goes back to what's going on in my classroom, right? Like I'm learning to stop saying, hey, students, you're all supposed to become the same thing. And instead, let each person become who they're built to be. And seeing my job as helping everyone reach the same goal, seeing it as my job to find out what everyone's potential is and help them reach the unique thing that's meant for them. Will says, I finished my volcano at school. It's so great to finish those creative projects. That feels so good. Huzzah for that. So people are having neat experiences. Keep throwing them in the chat as you have them, and just out loud with me. Let's just do a big huzzah to celebrate everyone's growth. Huzzah! 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 Congratulations, everyone. You're growing. Now let's look forward to the next 20 to 30 days. The next 20 to 30 days is the time that God has appointed when the whole northern hemisphere of the planet and it is built towards growing in the realm of agency, growing in the realm of choice and volition and consequences and accountability. This is the time we're in right now, or the time we're moving into. And if we accept God's plan that this is the time, it's the time for that, and move along with that, then we're going to grow. We're going to just kind of get swept along with that energy, and it's going to take us to some really cool, really awesome places that will fulfill our yearnity in the end. I want to talk real quick, though, on this topic. If anyone has any questions about agency, please put those in the chat. I want to talk real quick about a part of agency that can be really hard. And that's when we make choices that we regret. It's probably every single day you and I make choices where we say, I wish I'd done something different. I wish I'd used my time differently. I wish I hadn't said that to them. I wish I had said that to them. I wish I'd stopped and helped. I wish. We have these moments every day. And that's part of agency. Like, part of agency is trying out different choices. When I make choices that I regret, I'm doing agency well. I'm doing a good job because I'm finding out, I'm learning from my own choices what I want. Because I try out something that doesn't get me what I want, and I learn from that. And that's awesome. And I can celebrate that. The trick is just to learn from it. We don't have to beat ourselves up about the choices we made. We can make a choice and then stop and go and celebrate the lessons that come from the choice, no matter which way it went. And then learn from that and move forward and apply that progress going forward. That's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful part about life. When I make a choice that doesn't get what I want, I now own a principle. Right? If I spend my whole life just doing what someone else, like say someone comes along who's really smart and they teach me just the best way to do everything. I spend my whole life just doing everything the best way that they taught. Well, if I do that, I might not own those principles the same way as if I experiment with them. By trying out doing it the not best way, I own the principle, right? I don't own it the same way if someone just tells me how to do everything, I just follow orders my whole life. And so it's very valuable to try out doing things the way that doesn't work and then own it. Well, it's raining more and more. I'm trying to decide if I want to stay out in the rain now and just accept this, or if I want to go inside now because the rain's getting heavier. I'm also, my screen's getting wet. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's going to interfere with what we're doing here. I don't know. I think I'm going to try staying outside for now. I'm going to try out that choice, and I might regret it, and that's okay, because then I'll own that principle. I'm just going to see what this is like. Here's an example of this. I'm taking a class right now in human design. If you haven't heard of human design, you can look that up. It's like really, really cool, and you can look it up and you can learn about it. But I'm taking an online class in human design, and in the class they have us do like a free writing activity every week where we like are supposed to write for 10 minutes about a topic. And they recommend that you do the free writing on paper, not on a computer. And today I was getting ready to write, and I had my computer on my lap because I just finished doing all the online, like watching the online videos. And I just didn't feel like getting up and going and getting some paper. I just didn't want to. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to write in my computer. And next time I do this, I'll write on paper. And so, they recommend that writing on paper is the best way to do it. That it just gets better results. If you write on paper, it activates different parts of the brain and it works better. And they might be right. I'm not sure yet. But I tried it on my computer today, and I had the experience that I had. And I decided next time I do it, I'm going to try it on paper. And I'm going to learn for myself in a way where I own the principle, which way works best for me. And not just automatically assume that what they're saying is what I should do. And so it's okay that I made the choice to write in a computer today, even though they say it's not the best way to do it. If anyone has any thoughts or questions about agency, please put those in the chat. I would like to hear them. Just going to take a moment to just think. To let myself receive anything else that I feel like is important to say. And the quiet is really beautiful. It's really, really beautiful where I am. I hope it's beautiful where you are. Look at this. You should just... Can I flip my camera in? Look at this. It's just so beautiful here. Wow, it's literally raining. I'm getting wet. This is awesome. I accept the season for what it is. And that can be another part of choice. Sometimes it's important to choose whether you're going to just go along with things or kind of pave your own path. And both those choices have their merits in different situations, right? Like right now, I'm choosing just go along with getting wet out here. But I could go inside and sort of create something different for myself. I'm just choosing to just submit to what outside is today. And just surrender to that and accept that. And there's virtue in that. Other times, though, there's lots of virtue in just going your own way and going against what the group is doing and doing your own thing, right? Like most people, like this whole 13 seasons principle is something that most people don't know anything about. So just choosing to do that is going against the grain of society, right? There's lots of other ways to go against the grain of society. You might have a diet you eat that's different than the way everyone else eats. Or maybe in your workplace, there's lots of gossiping and you choose not to gossip, right? There's lots of ways where we go against the grain of what's around us, and that's good. And that's like, it's desirable, it's helpful. And there's lots of ways, there's other times where it's just important to not resist, but just kind of go with the flow of whatever's happening. And having the wisdom to know which to choose can be tricky. And one of the ways to do that is just trying it out, right? Like you don't need to make it such a high pressure thing. If you just have the talent to just try out one way or the other, and then stop and reflect and think about which way you liked better afterwards. That's great. It's so great. We don't have to feel like we're supposed to make the right choice all the time. Try things out, experiment, see what happens. I also want to say a word right now about friendship. Oh, now my phone's about to die. Okay, now maybe it's time to accept something a little different by going inside and accept the fact that my phone's dying and accept that means that it is time to go inside. Maybe. Just because I don't want to get cut off in the middle of this right now. Okay, here's my garage. Get to experience the garage of Josh Wagner. Here we are. It's a beautiful place. Wow, the screen looks so much more visible right now. All right, let me just get a phone charger here real quick. Give me a sec. Ta-da. Okay, here I am. You're good to be in the garage with Josh Wagner. It's a new podcast, In the Garage with Josh Wagner. Okay. So yeah. What I want to say now. Okay, I can hear myself talking from the other room because my family's watching this right now. So I'm going to move a little farther. I'm going to plug in somewhere else and see if I can get a little farther away so I don't hear myself, because that's really obnoxious. Okay, here, I plugged in a different spot. Hopefully this works better. All right, so friendship. Friendship's important. It's important to have friends. It's important to have relationships. And here's the thing: when you have friends and relationships, your responsibility and your accountability changes. Every relationship comes with it a certain kind of entanglement. It's like electrons, like with atoms, electrons get entangled with each other. And then once two electrons are entangled, no matter, even if they move like light years apart, if one is affected, the other is affected once they're entangled. When you make friends with people, when you have relationships with people, your life becomes entangled with theirs. And because of the relationship you have, the choices you make affect them in a bigger way, and the choices they make affect you in a bigger way. And that reality can sometimes lead us to want to avoid friendships or avoid relationships because we think, I don't want that responsibility in my life, or I don't want other people hurting me with their choices. And it's just, and everything is, and you're free to make the choice to not have deep relationships with people. That's an okay choice to make. I just want you to understand or think about the pros and cons of that choice. The advantage of that choice is you don't have as much pressure when you're making choices. You have to think about how your choices are going to affect people. That's an advantage of the choice of not having deep relationships. Another advantage is you might not get hurt by other people as much because you're not as close. If you're not so close to people, it's harder for other people to hurt you. So that is an advantage of that choice. The disadvantage is you don't feel that exhilaration of deep connection in your life, and you might feel lonely. And you might not have the same opportunities you would have because relationships lead to all kinds of opportunities. When people trust you in a relationship with them, they give you opportunities of all kinds. And so it's just a matter of choosing what you want for yourself, right? There's pros and cons of each choice. Experiment, try it out, find out what works for you. Again, feel free to put in the chat if there's anything you're thinking about right now, or anything you want me to address, or any experiences you're thinking about that relate to what we're talking about. Put those in the chat. I plan to move into a meditation during this live stream. To a meditation together. My son specifically requested this. I don't feel like it's time yet, though. I feel like there's something more it's important for us to talk about. I'm trying to open up my spirit to sense what's important for us to talk about. And I feel like there's something else. Maybe it's something that will be triggered by a comment you put down below. So feel free to do that. Otherwise, I'm gonna just kind of take a moment right now to see what feels right. Okay, in the human design class that I'm taking, one thing that's been really interesting is the format of the class. It's formatted differently than any class I've ever seen before, and I really like it. So, human design is like a get to know yourself kind of system, but it's also like a figure out the path that works for you kind of system. With human design, you put your birthday and your birth time, your birthplace into this calculator, and then it calculates like a chart for you that tells you with really high resolution all kinds of things about your life story, past, present, and future, and all kinds of things about the best way that you, in your unique way, can like move forward towards your unity. It's a great system, but it's very much like within the system, it helps everyone discover their uniqueness, right? So it's very like what people get from it's very unique to each individual. So in the class, what they're having us do is in class, we don't do a lot of the actual learning about how human design works. To learn about how human design works, we watch videos on our own in between the classes. Then after we watch the videos, we do some free writing. They call it wild writing. I like that. Isn't that good? Not free writing, but wild writing. So they have us do wild writing where we just turn off our critical brain and just write whatever comes to us. Just whatever the things we watched in the video and are reading inspire, just write about it. Then when we get together for the class, we all read portions of what we wrote or summarize what we wrote. And the teacher listens to each of us. But while we're reading that part, the teacher has our unique human design chart up. And then while we're reading what we came away with, the teacher points out to us how the things in each of our unique charts reflect what we wrote. That's a really cool way to do a class, especially a class on human design. I really think that's pretty darn neat. Each person's free writing combined with looking at their human design becomes a little mini case study in each class about human design, which really helps us learn how it works, for different people. And I think that life's the same way in the sense that every single person's life is a case study in choices. Different people make all kinds of different choices in their life and get all kinds of results from the different choices they make. Different people are born in all kinds of circumstances, right, that are affected in different ways by other people's choices. Like someone born in the United States right now is being affected by the choices of the government of the United States right now. And anyone born in the United States right now is being affected by the choices the people in the United States have made since the country started or beyond, right? Like there's a certain culture that's in place that's been chosen by other people and they're just born into it. The same happens if you're born in Germany, right? Like Germany has its own government, its own history, and you're just born into it. If you're born into a rich or a poor family, the richness and poorness is being affected by all kinds of other people's choices, both your family's choices and choices by larger parts of society. And so all sorts of different people are born into situations where they have different experiences with their own choices and other people's choices. And so every single person's life is like a case study in how choices can work out differently. And then when we share those case studies with each other, we all learn so much more about choices. And this is where autobiographies and people just talking about their experiences with each other is really powerful. In the end, we're all one. Everyone on the planet is one. Jesus prayed that we would realize we're one. But the oneness of everything, just like how light goes into a prism and breaks in different colors, the oneness of everything is born as different people who all have different experiences. And this way, the oneness that we all share can manifest in different ways and have different experiences and different case studies and different kinds of choices. It's my belief that I'm a strong. I'm a believe. I'm a believer in spirituality. I'm a believer in Jesus. I I deeply value the insights that have come to the earth. Just like the light breaks into a prism, the one light breaks in different religions, and many different religions have different insights that are born in different cultures that help us. I've been so benefited by Hinduism and Buddhism, in particular, and Taoism. My main faith background is in Christianity, and I'm a big believer in Jesus. And as I've reflected on Jesus and on his teachings and on his invitation and his prayer that we'd become one thing that I've realized is that we were all like one light that was separating into pieces, and the pieces all have different choices, but make different choices, all different case studies. But what Jesus came to bring us all back into one light again, so that all the case studies come back together in one place, and we all learn from it. The Bible says that the sins shall be shouted from the rooftops. Another way to say that is that everyone's made choices on this earth, and the choices had all sorts of different results, some good, some bad, and everyone will fully understand the implications and the lessons of everyone's choice. We all become one in Jesus again, and then everyone gets the benefit of every choice anyone's ever made. So when you see someone making all kinds of choices that you think are not good choices, maybe be patient and consider that maybe that person is a manifestation of the one light, the one spirit, the one soul, who chose to make a bunch of poor choices that hurt a bunch of people, so that everyone can so that when all of us come back together as one light, we can all learn from all those poor choices. Maybe they're the one that volunteered to do that for all of us. And maybe that can help us forgive. And so as you and I make poor choices, but we learn from those and grow, we can forgive ourselves. And as other people make poor choices, and that helps us grow, we can forgive them. Now we're ready to meditate. All right, go ahead and close your eyes with me. Just get comfortable, whatever way is comfortable for you. Many people recommend having your back straight while you meditate, either by laying down or sitting up straight. If that feels right to you and feels comfortable, do that. Otherwise, just be whatever way feels nice and loose. Maybe shake a little bit and get the wiggles out, get the tension out of your body. And become aware with me, just imagine with me. When I say become aware, the other way to think that is to imagine. But I like using the word become aware. So become aware with me of a rainbow. And it's like a rainbow light that comes from up above to down. But the rainbow is sort of like made of little droplets of water that are all the colors of the rainbow going across horizontally from, red to orange to yellow to green to blue to indigo to violet. You see that rainbow going across like that from left to right. And the rainbow comes over you like a waterfall that moves towards you, and it comes over your body and cleans you as it comes over you. And you feel so good as you're cleaned by this rainbow. And you reflect on choices. And reflect on choices you made on your life. Just let yourself take a moment to forgive yourself for your choices. And to forgive yourself forgive others for how their choices have affected you. You're aware of a bag in front of you. This bag is full of all kinds of interesting, different shaped objects. And you open up the bag and you realize that each object that has a different shape is a different choice. You start noticing how different choices have different kinds, are very different, have different shapes and different consequences and different essences. And you look through them and you rejoice in the difference. You feel joy that each choice is diverse and is its own thing, that the diversity is beautiful. And you pick up one of these objects in the bag, and to pick up this object is to choose that thing. You ask yourself, what is this object? For me, what does this choice represent? Just ask yourself that and see what comes up inside you. And start just imagine looking at the object from different angles and considering what all the implications of this choice would be. Now that you've explored that choice and looked at different angles of it with your subconscious and your higher self, decide to yourself, is this a choice you want to pick up? Do you want to run with this choice, or do you want to put it back in the bag and pick something else up? You're free to do so. And you don't even have to make the choice right now yet. If you're not ready, you can sit with it for a little bit and decide when the time is right for you. It might even be that examining this choice was good for today, because it's a choice it'll be good to make this choice at some point in the future, but it was important today to just prepare for that. It might be that this choice has lots of smaller choices that make it up. That's what it was for me today. You can open your eyes if you want, and I'll tell you this. You can't mess up life, because any choice you make is a chance to get experience. If you reflect on your choices, it'll help you grow. If you choose not to reflect on them, you'll learn about what happens when you don't reflect on things. And either way, it helps you grow and you gain experience. You can't mess it up. I want the best for you. I pray that you'll be able to become your best self, one season at a time. I wish you a very happy Mother's Day once again, and a very happy Accept Agency season. Stay in touch. Feel free to leave comments on any of these videos here on this channel, and I'll get the message, and I can respond to anything that you want to say or questions you want to ask or anything like that. And you got this. I know you do. That's all for today. I love you all.